Friday night, August 21st, right here in the Bronx. We are in the midst of a rapid increase of shootings across the city. Just in the last 24 hours, New York has seen 11 shootings in which 3 people have died. And more people will get gunned down in the next few hours, just as they were last weekend when 49 people were shot. Tonight, we're talking with Marisol Rivera, who is with the organization SOS, which stands for Save Our Streets. SOS works with the courts and the community to try to stop the violence before it happens.
I got into this work because a best friend of mine was gunned down the day before I went to go with him to purchase his first car. And that affected me in my community in a big way, because nobody should have to bury their loved ones at a young age. No mother should have to bury their kid, and no kid should have to bury their mother over because somebody's choosing to come out here and shoot a gun that they don't even know how to shoot properly. They're not going to the gun range. So it's definitely hurtful to lose somebody to gun violence, and that pain never goes away.
And I see, it's getting kind of late at night now, but I see that your office is still open. I see people coming in and out. And so this work that you do to save the streets, it's kind of like almost like a 24-hour job.
Absolutely. The streets never sleep, and we barely sleep. So
now, what is key for you? Like, what if you could boil it down to 3 steps or whatever? How do you stop violence?
First, you have to detect it. You detect the violence, then you intervene, and then you change the community norms. So like I previously just said, our young people, we always young before. We made decisions that we shouldn't have made, but we let them know that we already been there and done that, so we don't want you to go through that. We want to prevent you from going and being incarcerated or, God forbid, being dead. That's the only ways of you on the street, the 2 ways to end up at.
You were talking about community norms. It seems to me that the last few months, especially, these community norms are kind of breaking down. Do you see how we're going to get out of this? Do you see a light at the end of the tunnel? It's
going to take time. People are hurting out here. This pandemic struck a lot of stuff, and it wasn't for the good, So I would say they feeling traumatized.
I see. That's interesting because, usually when we talk about COVID and how it might be connected to this gun violence, we're talking about the economy. The coronavirus has affected the economy and so forth. But you're talking about that the trauma of the coronavirus can lead to what we're seeing in the streets right now. How is that? Could you describe that connection to me? Yeah.
Well, a lot of people have lost a lot of loved ones and a lot of people to the pandemic. So they're outraged, Some people don't know how to handle that pain. They don't know where to place it. So as you just stated too, on top of that, this is one of the poorest places in the Bronx. The lack of education, lack of resources, everything that we have up here is not the way downtown has it. It should be equal. It should be the same. Jobs is down. On top of jobs is down, now people dying. People can't bury their family members in a proper way. Mm-hmm. So all these things are negative and can lead anybody to stroll down the wrong way. But we definitely here to pick them back up and show them that there is light after the tunnel.
But for now, the pandemic, the economic crisis, and the hot weather all seem to be fueling more crises in the city. And there doesn't seem to be any sign of letting up in the next few weeks. Later, about 6 minutes away on East 152nd Street, shots rang out. 25-year-old Priscilla Vasquez, mother of 3, was found lying dead on the pavement. This hot summer weekend has ultimately claimed 24 people shot and 5 dead. For Bronxnet, I'm Stephen DeCastro.
The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of Bronxnet or the program underwriters.